welcome back to the second Other Voices London video blog. Yesterday's one gave you a bit of an intro. This is Saturday's video blog where I was out and about. I took a Jack the Ripper tour, which was actually the first thing I did when I got to the East End London. Probably not the best introduction to London. Didn't sleep that night, but I got over it. I also caught up with Derry's very own Little Bear, who were over here for their performance as well with Other Voices. Took them on the cable cars over the River Thames for a little chat. Also had a chat with Jim Carroll, who was here with Banter, to see how he was getting on. Hope you enjoy! So to kick off day 2 of Other Voices London, I met up with Steve and Ryan from Little Bear.
So we're about to go on the cable cars just behind you. Have a look there. How do you feel about that?
Oh, looking forward to it. Nervous.
I never actually asked you if you were afraid of heights before. I kind of just roped you into this.
You told us we were cable bumper cars.
Never told them that. So I brought the guys to the cable cars in London, which floats over the Thames, very high up, and gives you a great view of some of London. So I wanted to catch up with the lads and see what they've been up to since their last brilliant performance at Other Voices Derry. And I figured what better place to do that than trapped in a glass cage with me. Spotted this sign, could only presume it means no high-fiving, but you know these guys, rock and roll. So these cable cars travel from Greenwich over the River Thames, very high up as I said, giving you a great view of London City. Not exactly sure which part of London it is we're looking at, but it's definitely London anyway. What Steve's pointing to there is actually the Millennium Dome. Great view. And luckily enough, these other people didn't mind us giggling our way over the Thames.
How have things been for you since the show in Derry?
Pretty crazy. Got lots of recognition from Other Voices, and it's just it's crazy. We're still on a complete high from it all, and then being asked to get back, it's just like a dream come true sort of thing.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think we were just about leveling out.
Yeah, we're coming back down,
and then we got that email from him like, oh, not again.
And London.
Only stop smiling there. And my jaw's sore.
Pretty spectacular view of the River Thames there. When I looked around and saw this drop, I have to say my stomach turned just a little bit. We then landed at the opposite side of the Thames, where you're greeted by these people who wave at you for a very long time. Until it gets slightly awkward. There's Steve giving a wave back. So we didn't waste any time at that side of the Thames. We got back on the cable cars and made our way back over, with a slightly different angle of the Millennium Theatre. I then asked Ryan and Steve what was it they were looking forward to most about their London performance with Other Voices.
I think, actually, I don't know if it's better being prepared for it. You know, before it was just kind of straight in. I know we've had a couple of weeks to think about it, like, and we're all
Definitely, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
So I feel a wee bit anxious about it now, whereas the last time we were just kind of
no time to think about it.
Really?
Yeah.
I suppose that, yeah.
But and then watching it last night, you know, knowing that we'll be on that stage, and I was like,
Have you? No, you haven't been to Wilton's yet, have you?
No.
It's a cool venue.
Yeah,
it looks
Very
amazing last night, so it did, and the thing.
it looks like a better Glassworks.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same kind of layout, you know.
It's a bizarre place. It's got all these little secret passage and tunnels and rooms that lead to nowhere and just holes and floors and stuff. Watch out for those, by the way.
They were like, I'd let you.
Forgot there's one there.
Sorry.
So we're nearing the end of our journey. I asked the guys what they thought of the whole cable car experience.
My heart is pounding.
Yeah, it was the best bit was like when it went up.
I thought it was amazing. I just stayed level for about 5 minutes.
Alright, sarcastic McGee's over here. Wasn't that bad?
No, it was great.
No, it was lovely. It was great.
It was that now we're sitting in your hotel lobby for an hour.
No, it was really good. I mean,
It's really
did you get to
different.
see it? You know,
The part of London that we don't exactly know where it is. That part.
And out we get. Our thrilling journey has come to an end. And straight on to more important business. Thanks to Steve and Ryan for joining me on that little journey and for the chat, and look at them, they're having a lovely time with their ice cream.
Something I really wanted to do while I'm here in the Wapping area, what it's very well known for is Jack the Ripper. So behind me you'll see a group of people. So I'm about to start on a very noisy road, about to start a walking tour, Jack the Ripper walking tour. My very reluctant assistant Grania behind the camera, but don't know what to expect. Hopefully this will be good and scary.
The This is me slowly realising that maybe this isn't such a good idea. So on we go in our group tour, and we set off following the tour guide on the Jack the Ripper tour. And what this tour does is takes you to each of the locations where each of the infamous Jack the Ripper murders took place. So if you do have an interest in history, I definitely recommend this tour. Of course, Jack the Ripper, known as the first modern serial killer, where the whole world, the tabloids, the papers, all the media took interest. But if you are any little bit squeamish, then maybe it isn't the thing for you, as the tour guides do talk you through each of the locations and the murders and how they happened, and they do actually pass around photos as well, so you wouldn't want to have had a big lunch. And obviously anyone who's seen the film From Hell starring Johnny Depp, you may not be that scared of Jack the Ripper because he also plays a pirate in Willy Wonka, but there's nothing lighthearted about these murders. They were very gruesome. But I have to say, I do enjoy a good walking tour. Distracted by these two doors, which I thought were cool. Nearly lost my group because of it. On we go down another street. So this is Hanbury Street, where the famous murder of Annie Chapman happened. So what the tour guide does is talk you through, this is how the street used to look, and he really does take you back in time to 1888. And you do get a little bit of the shivers, I have to say. This is the exact location where that murder happened. And this is another photo that he passed around. This is Annie Chapman and her husband when she was married, unfortunately. Things went very quickly downhill for her, sadly. Probably on a normal day I'd be admiring the street as very nice, but on this particular night, everything just seems very creepy. As our tour guide leads us down another alleyway. He passed around this letter written in red ink by apparently Jack the Ripper. It's where the name was infamously born. But there also happens to be 241 similar letters signed by apparently Jack the Ripper, but all in different handwriting. He then took us to this street where the very last of the Jack the Ripper murders took place, and the most gruesome, so I won't go into it, and that was of Mary Jane Kelly. In the middle of Jack the Ripper tour, there's the group walking off away from me. I'm about to get lost. Am I scared? Yeah, it's pretty gruesome. Am I cold? Yes. Look, it really was a freezing cold night, and we passed a chipper, so I'll say no more. Great tour, bit gruesome. Chips were a good ending. I also managed to catch up with this very familiar face. I'm joined with Jim Carroll at the moment. Jim, thank you very much for taking the time
No problem at all.
to have the chat. Jim is, of course, you've seen him pop up now and again in some of the vlogs. He's the presenter of Banter, which is happening right here, where we are right now, which is, can you give me the exact name of this venue?
This is the Zeppelin Shelter on Lemon Street in the East End. And it's just great, it's great to come here as well. It's great to actually do it here in London as well, come east in London, and like take it from a hardware shop in Dingle to a Tash Cottage in Derry to a pool hall in East London. So it's like, it's great.
It's great, yeah. It's never just a kind of, it's never a normal place.
No, it's not. No, I mean, like the scouting is excellent. The scouting is fantastic. I think it's like, you know, we've got a real kind of, I suppose, cross section of topics. We've got Paul Morley talking about David Bowie, Ben Watt from Everything But the Girl, just talking about, like, I mean, how you can do pop things differently and what he's got planned. There's a photography panel featuring Eva Vermandel, Linda Brownlee, and other voices on Rich Gilligan.
Oh, yeah,
and then the final panel on Sunday is bring the Dingle dimension into it in the shape of a Creepy Rally, like talking about the gloaming and talking about traditional music. And it's also a performance over the weekend from Luke Siddall singing, Shannon Saunders, and also from Olivia Cheney. So it's like it's a really good one. It's the one that's been longest in the works, you know.
Yeah. How do you feel? That's a packed few days, really, isn't it? So how many people do you have each day?
4 sessions on Saturday, 4 sessions on Sunday, and then 2 performances on Sunday and 1 performance on Saturday.
That's brilliant. So how do you find that? Do you find it like an exhausting thing for you to be kind of? Is it like, do you ever zone out of an interview and kind of think, oh, I have no idea what that person just said?
The only time I zoned out of interviews in Foxy John's because it was too hot. They placed me beside a fire.
There was a fire, yeah.
And I zoned. There's a couple of interviews where I know I've zoned out. There's one. I'm not going to mention what they were, but there's one or two interviews where I definitely zoned out. Derry was fine. Derry was
well ventilated.
Well ventilated, exactly. So no, you do. I mean, afterwards though, you're just exhausted. I mean, like it's kind of it's really, you don't think it because you're kind of thinking, like, I mean, everyone talks for 3 hours, but you're talking and you're concentrating as well, and you're kind of switching, and you also got to make sure as well that, I mean, the majority of the guests like can speak and they're quite good, and like, you know, they have a lot to say and they're practiced, they know what they're doing, they're pros. But sometimes, you know, like often, like every one of us, you know, there are times when you just don't want to talk. Yeah. So it's just about bringing that out. So afterwards, I'm just wiped.
And thank you very much to Jim for sitting down and having that chat with me. Well, best of luck. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, Jim.
No problem at all.